Hey guys, thanks for joining in on what is the second installment of Nick's Picks, where we will get you ready for a win in Week 7. I hope you guys are still celebrating from a week in Week 6, and we will get you ready for Week 7 with Lamar Miller. What you do with Lamar Miller? Lamar Miller had 150 yards and a couple of touchdowns. That's hard to trade away, but should you looking at a bad offense in Houston? Should you also trade Golden Tate, as one has been an inconsistent year for the performer? He also had 150 yards and a touchdown. We will go over the weekly bold predictions and top performers for each positions of the week. With Big Ben out for 2 to 6 weeks, is now the only time to buy low on one of the league's best wide receivers. The waiver wire is thin at running back, but I will tell you a top 5 running back that might still be in your waiver wire. I will have my first special guest in what is the best Madden player of maybe all time, Master Gamer or Matthew Lee. The first topic of discussion is whether we should trade Lamar Miller and sell high. What do you think, Matthew?
You gotta let him go. He's got, 178 yards last week, coming off a high week. Hasn't really shown you anything the entire season. The Texans' offense is not great. Their O-line is average at best, and they're not going to be running down on teams. So,
and they got the Broncos defense coming up, one of the best in the league. He's not going to have a good game over there. I say 50 yards max against that Broncos defense. They're going to be passing all game. I don't see you selling high after that performance.
Yeah, you're going to have to sell him before. So, you got to get rid of him now.
How about Golden Tate?
Golden Tate's done nothing.
But he did almost everything for the Lions last week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you need to get rid of him if anybody's going to take him. However, I don't see much people wanting to get Golden Tate after 1 week of production. At least Lamar Miller has a track record of being good, where Golden Tate kind of was off and on last year. And that was with Calvin Johnson. Now with Calvin Johnson out of the picture, Marvin Jones really just absorbed all the targets.
Don't you think with Theo Riddick out and Eric Ebron out that there's only 3 available wide receivers for targets in that offense?
I would think even with them in, he should be getting targets, but he's not, so they're clearly just going to go push Marvin Jones down the field more and try to get some other options open. They don't seem to have trust in him. I don't know what it is, but they just don't give him the ball.
It's also a pass-first offense, right?
Well, they don't have any running backs, so they better be a pass-first offense.
But I think a team that's desperate for some wide receiver help might take Golden Tate for maybe an RB2.
If you can find that, take it, but
my bold prediction for the week is a waiver wire pickup that can be an RB number 5 called Mike Gillislee. What is your bold prediction?
I think Michael Thomas on the Saints is going to have 150 receiving yards. With all the pressure that's going to be put towards Brandon Cooks and all their other receiving options, I think Michael Thomas finally makes the most out of all the targets he's been getting. Against the Chiefs, who have a strong defense, but I bet on Drew Brees more than anything else.
Do you have any concerns that it's an away game at Arrowhead outside?
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
That's really the answer to that one.
So you're just banking on Drew Brees' talent.
Yeah.
And you're just ignoring what he's done away.
Yeah.
My prediction is based on that the Dolphins have 31st ranked defense against the run and allows almost an average of 150 yards per game. Even though Bell did have 50 yards last game in the loss, he did average 5 yards per carry, and that is extraordinary. So what do you think about that?
Mike Gillislee is bad.
Mike Gillislee is averaging 7 yards per carry this season.
That won't last. I can't see that lasting.
So you don't.
If you have the room for him, pick him up. But if you think he's going to turn into a unicorn, he probably won't.
How about for this week though? Is he a top star for this week?
For this week, if LaShawn McCoy is out and you need a running back, pick him up. That's where I'd put my value on him.
All right. Next topic of discussion is the top performers of each week. My top performer of the week is Matty Ice. Doubters of Matty Ice and the fire hot Falcons should have been silenced a few weeks ago with their 5-1 start. He has been throwing for an average of 350 yards. He is just on fire, and the Chargers defense is subpar at best. Who do you think is the best performer for?
I mean, those are both like heavy passing offenses. Both the running games haven't really gone off to a hot start, and they both have pretty bad pass defenses. So it's just gonna be a high-scoring game all around. With Matt Ryan having Julio Jones and Phil Rivers not having a Julio Jones, that's where I kind of lead towards the Matt Ryan, who's also been winning. But Phil Rivers will also be a good option, but Matt Ryan should just have an insane week.
That's good reasoning. All right, let's go with the running backs. For the second week in a row, for the second episode of Nick's Picks, I will go with my boy Lev Bell for the number one running back of the week. Based on solely the volume, D'Angelo Williams is out, and the Patriots do lock up the best option. But, I mean, the best option is Antonio Brown. Let's be honest. And they're going to be down a lot. Bell is the pass catcher, and he's skilled. He's averaging 5 yards per carry, and I look for him to have a huge day against the Patriots. Who's your top running back?
My top running back right now for this week is DeMarco Murray. He's been killing it as of recent, and I just see that continuing. He's playing against a bad run defense. I don't really have trust in a lot of the running backs this week. Even Le'Veon Bell, I see him getting shut down. Last year, it might have been 2 years ago, when they didn't have a quarterback and they were working with Mike Vick, Le'Veon Bell couldn't move the ball at all, regardless of who they were playing. Especially against the Patriots, he'll get shut down.
All right, let's go with the top wide receiver. I say Julio Jones, just because he's been fire recently, coming off a 140-yard performance against which is considerably one of the best defenses in Seattle. And let's just say the Chargers are a little less than the Seattle defense. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Julio's good. He's had this weird, on and off thing, or, every other week. So, technically, this is an off week, but that's just random at this point. But my receiver is probably going to be Mike Evans. He's been getting a ton of targets, and especially now with Vincent Jackson out, he's just going to take even more of those targets. Austin Seferian-Jenkins gone. You got Vincent Jackson out. He's just going to eat. I don't care who he's playing.
And he has a good matchup, too. But
yeah.
Against San Francisco. I hate to say this, but I'm going with Rob Gronkowski for the best tight end. I mean, let's be honest. They can't double cover him anymore. They got Bennett there. I mean, it's not going to be a high-scoring affair because the Patriots are going to be leading. They're probably going to hand the ball off the blunt. But, Brady hasn't had a 300-yard performance. He has not had a 300-yard performance thus far with 3 touchdowns or more. I say Rob Gronkowski, best tight end for this week. What do you think?
Yeah, I got to go with Hunter Henry there. For the same reason as to why I picked Matt Ryan, I can go with Hunter Henry. I think he's going to be Phil Rivers' number one option this game. He's been pretty good the past 3 weeks, and I just can't see that not continuing, especially against a bad pass defense, which is probably going to be the highest scoring game of the week.
Aren't you concerned with Antonio Gates getting healthy each and every week?
No.
So you say he beat Antonio Gates for the number one tight end?
Yeah, as of now.
And you wouldn't say that Terrell Williams is the number one option?
I mean, Hunter Henry's been the most consistent, so I see him just especially against a really bad defense, just breaking out and having an insane game, like a 30-point fantasy game.
And 30, he has had 3 consecutive weeks with touchdowns as well.
Yep.
The last segment of the show, we will discuss whether we should buy low on AB or avoid the bad situation that's in Pittsburgh. AB owners might be a little panicked, and they might try to trade him before the game on Sunday, and you should accept that trade. You have any reasons why they should accept that trade?
I mean, he plays the playoffs. Antonio Brown is going to be back with Big Ben around playoff time, and that's when you need to win the most games. You can't lose at that point. You're getting probably one of the best receivers in the league, if not the best, around playoff time, and you're probably buying low in the middle of the season. So that's fine. He'll still have some production now. So you're going to be able to rely on him a little bit. He's still their best receiver, but you're really just playing for the playoffs in that one.
And even with Landry Jones, the only game Landry Jones started last year was against the Chiefs, and Antonio Brown went for 125, at Arrowhead. And he might not be available after this game. Depends on how good he performs. Because other talented guys usually step up when the starting QB gets hurt, don't you think?
I mean, it's different with the receiver, but I'm thinking more along the lines of playoff time is where you're going to see that value. He probably won't be his usual self while Big Ben's out, but that's fine. Because, again, that number 1 receiver in the playoffs is going to be huge.
And Big Ben's timetable for return is 2 to 6 weeks. Don't you think with Ben's history of being tough, make it a little more to 2 to 3 weeks?
No, not really.
Why not?
Because, I mean, that doesn't necessarily heal injuries.
It doesn't necessarily heal injuries, but with the team Odie lost to the Dolphins last week, and Ben Odie getting up there in age, doesn't he want to win now?
If he's getting up there in age, it can take longer to heal from injuries.
Right.
He might want to win now, but if he can't play, he can't play.
Well, that's here from Nick's Picks. I hope you have a successful Week 7 and you get a win. Bye-bye and good luck.